Well, in my case, uh, you know, I like being married to the right person because the my old marriage was kind of traumatic for me. But the thing is, I was a new believer at the time, and God will tell me what to do, and God told me to marry her. And I told my parents that, and my parents bless the marriage without even knowing her. So the purpose of this is for God's future future plans for me and her. But it was a struggle for many years, and she made me a better person. One thing that when God told me to marry her, God told me, marry her. She will help you get healed. And as a new believer back then, I didn't know what that meant because I was so broken and I was just taking it day by day by day. After 1 year, we had our first child, John.
Actually, 2 years.
Is it 2 years? Okay, 2 years. But the thing is, we move in a way that even though we had a lot of issues in our life, we just kept together and worked it out. As as a man, I wanted to be stable. I think I was 28 years old at that time when we got married, and I think you're
I was
26.
26.
26. Okay. But the thing is, just for the man out there, um, sometimes we always think about the grass is greener in the other side. The other side is just green. That's all it is, nothing else. You stay in your yard and build it to maturity. The grass will be good and strong for your family. So after the second year, after a couple of years, we had our second child. So we have Jonathan Abera the second, and then we have Jeffrey, and then I have my first daughter. Her name's Sandra. And the thing is that there will always be situations that you have to overcome as a married couple, no matter what that is. But the thing is here, you just focus on the area you need to be healed. And I had to focus on my own area to be healed, to be a better husband, to be a better father. And I just did that. And you know what? Once your family is incorporated in God's way, the rest is going to be easy. There are things that I had to realize how important the family is, because you may have a lot of situation, but if you focus in the whole family, your children and your wife, the rest will come easier. What do you think?
I agree with you.
I give her a hard time though. I give her a really hard time for many
However,
years.
I'm coming from a different perspective because I learned a lot from my father. That he told me two things. When you get married, it's not like chewing gum. When the sweetness is gone, you don't chew it out. Secondly, he told me that you're supposed to be on the same faith level. And since I was Catholic and you were pretty much a Protestant, I had to really reflect and think deeper how we are going to be complementing each other. Otherwise, the children might be confused. And when you told me that God told you to marry me so I could help you heal, first thought I had was, I'm not a doctor. I'm not a medical doctor nor a psychiatrist. And I'm a CPA by profession. All I do is basically just record numbers, analyze it, plan, and make it happen. It's so different from the mental or emotional or even the relational aspects of getting or being in marriage. The only thing I remember was I had a very good role model in my family. My mother and my father were really good at each other. And I had observed a lot of people in the neighborhood in the Philippines, So I just kind of observe what makes it work for them. So I look at my aunts, my uncles, my neighbors, and even my godparents, how they were able to relate to each other. And that's when I concluded that love is really blind because you need to be blinded with the flaws and negative things that you see on each other. Because sometimes those things can really bring out the best in you. Even though you gave me a hard time, it actually solidified my ground. Because to me, the greatest pleasure in life, I believe, is when you do things people say you cannot do. Remember when even the church people were teasing us that I was the president of the Jonathan's Wives Association because every 3 years you change your wife. And so they were like teasing me like, okay, you're done with your first term. You have 2 more years. And to me, that was really like a challenge. Like, whatever you're saying, I'm going to prove you wrong. So even though we didn't have a good start, we have a good journey. Difficult, yet it was manageable.
Well, at the same time, going through the journey that we've been through, it's always fascinating how things change as you grow older. There's certain things that you reflect and you start adjusting. And I think that's the key, adjustment. Because as the kids get older, we have to adjust. We're actually spending less time together because we're concentrating so much on the children. And I know this could relate to any situation out there about when you have children. But don't lose track of that you have to be together still, no matter what. That you're doing this for the family, you're doing this for the children and your wife. So you have to take time for your wife also, or husband. Because we all have our needs. We also, we want to be loved also. And I know, I'm so focused on my children before when they were growing up, because I wanted things that I may not have gotten the time because my dad was always busy, and I wanted to be with my children more. So that's my advice to the people. Focus as a family setting. Take time for your husband or your wife, and of course the children. And at this day and age, the children are so distracted so much now. They're doing their stuff in a very young age. But I could see my children, they really focus on their children, our grandchildren, which is great. So, I think we gave some good, what's the term for it? Good model roles for our children.
Well, it actually wasn't good in the very beginning, yet there's something you could always look into no matter how difficult or ugly the situation may be. The other thing that I had in mind was begin with an end in mind. In other words, just because you're going through some difficulty in marriage, you'll just quit or divorce or separate or whatever it is. Since my end in my mind is pretty much to have a great family, you have to have a great marriage to have a great family. And in order to have a great marriage, the couple has to be great as well. So I look at things on how I could really enhance and contribute and encourage in the relationship. And just to summarize our situation, we got married, we bought a house, we have our children, we had our career, now we're dating.
Yes.
We had it reversed. So we began with an end in mind. And so, as I said, relationship is really a tough thing. Yet no matter how tough it is, you just have to go with the flow. And many people had made comments on us that we look so compatible with each other. especially when we're dancing, because he's a good dancer. I'm the no talent one, but he knows how to really lead me. So, again, I did not have plans to go to Chicago to begin with. And even before I left the Philippines, I even asked my best friend, who is his sister-in-law, ex-sister-in-law, would Jonathan marry me for convenience if I ask him to? And Evelyn said, no, you're not his type. Okay. And again, I was in California, I was in New York, and was given marriage proposals, but I did not take it because I didn't want to be married for good. And the only reason, I hope you don't mind me saying this, and the only reason I married you was because you didn't like me. And I even asked your ex-wife number two, Grace, why did you divorce him? Is he gay? And he said, oh no, just watch his family because they're involved too much with his life. And that's the culture that we grew up from. You know, we're very family oriented. When you marry somebody, you marry the whole family, even the extended family, including, you know, if you have maids and drivers, they're all included. But the thing here is, I learned a lot when I was a kid from my parents, because our parents are always the go-to people by our neighbors and family. Like if there's rebellious teens, they come to the house and they put them there. Like we're like rehabs. We're like nursing homes too. When the old people become demented, they stay in our house. And if married people have conflicts in their relationship, they come to my dad and to my mom.
I think the concerning conflicts, I think it's very important. A lot of people, when they have situations in their marriage that there's some trouble areas that they're dealing with, a lot of people won't really go out to get help. They may talk to people, their friends, and just get their approval into a certain degree, but they're not really helping. You have to go to a third party person, counseling, like we did that many times. And in our level, since we're, you know, let's just say this things in our spiritual level, it's a little deeper than most people. We had to go to people that's higher than us, and people were sent all over, literally all over the world to help us because of our situation. That God wants us to be the most that we can be for the gifts and anointing that He has given us. So now we're able to minister to the let's just say
Troubled marriages.
troubled marriages in the spiritual higher people that we went through. Now we're able to do that. So God's using us all over the United States and some in other countries too at this time. But we didn't get to this level. We had to really break through because the enemy didn't want us to be happy, and that he's trying to stop us to help the people. That's the main thing. Now we're able to do some conferences and some really good stuff happening to help a lot of people. So
That's very true. And a lot of times people really don't know their purpose in life. They don't know their calling. And just like in marriage, God's plan is for forever, not, going from one marriage to the other. And I know that you've been through a lot in your marriages because you've been divorced twice, yet my role at that time I knew was to help you, not to hurt you. But again, some people who are hurt people. But those who are healed can be vessels for healing for others. And I'm so glad that God put us together because you brought up the best in me.
I train her well.
I didn't have to go through the doctoral degree in psychology or psychiatry or even psychotherapy. Actually, a pastor mentored me for 20 years. He has a doctoral degree in psychotherapy. So I kind of just did my own study and my own research. So he's actually my thesis.
Mhm.
And just like what we say to our children, our mess, when we give it to God, becomes a great message. So we're both broken people when we met. We broke and we had a breakthrough.